This podcast is a production of Digital and Creative Media Works. To help support us, head to dcm.works to find links to our other show notes, Patreon, and merch. Hey guys, welcome back to the Alpha Artist Podcast, official podcast of Digital and Creative Media Works. My name is David DCM, creative director, lead writer, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host Ben. Again with the silent thing, it's an audio primary medium. I didn't know sign language. You don't know sign language, so that's just offensive, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Listen,
I thought the joke would be funny if I knew sign language.
Hey, buddy,
I don't know sign language.
Still, I'm not 100% sure it would have been that funny.
I thought I was gonna do some like limitless shit. It was just gonna unlock.
Oh,
my
like
brain.
You put yourself in a situation, and it just happens.
Just happens.
Does that happen to people in real life?
If they take drugs, maybe.
Yeah, if you take enough acid, you'll think you can sign language too.
If you're Rocket Raccoon.
If you're what?
From Limitless. It's the same actor.
Oh,
what's his name?
Bradley
Bryan Cranston.
Cooper. You know, I didn't think that was a joke you were going for. I'm also really tired. Well, yeah, this week I'm tired, which isn't new, but I'm more tired.
Also this week. What are we talking about?
Yeah, well, also this week we are talking about the meaning of Rick and Morty. So season three is big on the horizon. It's out. It's happening.
We've got 2 episodes so far.
2 sweet.
We had our Szechuan sauce, and now everyone's been fucking memeing about that.
Yeah, now we got Mad
And then
Max.
we got probably one of the best episodes so far, which is nice.
It's you know, it's funny. I feel like as they've gone on, they've kind of angled the series a little more toward like the jokes tend to be quite insular. Like I think if you watch this one, you would get the gist of a lot of it, but even just like some of the more subtle stuff, like to do with the divorce stuff and a lot of the
I mean they're definitely doing a lot more serialized stuff now with it. It's not it's kind of breaking a bit away from the episodic nature, at least of like the first season. First season was super
mostly just adventures.
Yeah, it was mostly just jokes, but this one they're using the adventures as like a way to sort of encapsulate other stories.
Yeah, they're kind of being like, hey, here's the transition from, here's how you would if you were the kids of, the parents who had like this crazy grandfather. Sometimes here's how you deal with a divorce or whatever.
Also, here's how you deal with a divorce while in a post-apocalyptic land space. Yeah, while Mad Max.
Also,
basically.
It's like Mad Max, but also Fallout, which I appreciate.
Well, it's like Mad Max 3.
Oh,
it's like Thunderdome,
boy,
the weird one.
Yeah, I bet.
It's got a bit of 2 mixed in. There are car chases.
It's a bit of everything in there.
It's a bit of all. It's except the first one.
Except the first one, and then
and I guess the newest one. The newest one's good. Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting to me that this is one of those shows where I think a lot of people. I saw this tweet a few times actually, where people were like, it was people who don't watch the show, and they're like, the tweet was words to the effect of, people that watch Rick and Morty are like they're like not funny, like they don't get humor. I heard that. I saw that a lot.
Wait, so people who don't watch Rick and Morty.
Yeah, so what they were trying to say was that people who watch Rick and Morty like aren't funny, like the jokes in that show aren't funny, so people that watch it aren't funny. Which I think is kind of interesting because it's definitely not for everyone, but there's a certain thing that happens with people.
There is an element of people just being contrarian with that kind of thing.
Yeah, but
it's like saying that people who enjoy Game of Thrones have shit taste in fantasy. It's true, but it's that contrarian element. I don't think
now is not the time to be firing shots. I was going to make a point.
It's that contrarian element where people sort of just rile against something that's popular.
Yeah, I think also
it's the same kind of shit that Adventure Time got.
Yeah, true.
People are like, oh, Adventure Time doesn't have a deep story, and if you think it does, you're wrong. But it's like,
but that doesn't actually change what.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't change the.
And
fact.
It doesn't detract from your enjoyment. But I just think it's interesting that's because that's obviously with everything. There's always someone that's going to be like, oh, you like it, you're an idiot. But this in particular, I thought it's always very specific. The criticism I've seen is it's like they say the show isn't funny, and I'm like, yeah, but it's not always trying to be funny.
It's on Adult Swim, not Comedy Central.
Yeah, it's not like
This isn't like South Park, like the most recent seasons being super serialized and arguably not as funny. Like it's different.
You keep going.
David's off to save the cat. It's or to save the camera.
No, it's still recording. It's just hidden by the top bar.
Right. It's this thing where you have. I can't talk solo. I bounce off David.
That's fine.
All right.
You just wait for a sec.
I'll just wait. We'll just chill out. Everyone.
Cut this out. Put this in. Okay.
Put this in the B-roll.
Put this in your vlog, mate. Ben, I don't think you're a very good vlog. You're my least favorite friend.
This is being cut, yeah?
What?
Right?
Sure, buddy. Okay.
Welcome back.
I guess the point that I was going to make about that is it's just interesting to me that the dialogue that goes on around the show tends to be very like, you either think it's amazing or you think it's just like
it's the worst
thing ever. And
Yeah.
I think that's partly because it's Dan Harmon. He never makes anything that apologizes for itself. Like, you look at his track record and like
Yeah.
Community was the weirdest like season 1 of Community is so weird.
Yeah.
But it works. And then, you look at Rick and Morty and it's like, of course it's Dan Harmon. Like the minute, and like Harmon Quest like is so weird.
Oh, absolutely.
Everything he does is bizarre, but it's really like refined to what, like, clearly you can tell it's his vision.
Yeah, Harmon's the kind of guy who he's like who's the writer of I want to say Arrested Development? No, Seinfeld.
Seinfeld?
Writer of Seinfeld.
Yeah, I can't remember.
He was like, he's in some shows recently. I forget his name, but Harmon, to me feels a lot like that guy, Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
Yeah. That rings a bell.
Maybe.
Yeah, there's where he's like this weird background. He's like a legend, right? Like Dan Harmon, like he's like a legend in this writer sphere, I guess. Or at least just creative sphere.
Yeah.
But like no one like sees Dan Harmon and is like, that's the man you want to be.
That's
like no one wants to be Dan Harmon.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of that's fun because what that tells you is like,
sorry, Dan Harmon.
I think you're great.
I mean,
Dan
we
Harmon.
think you're great, but
you're
like
pretty excellent.
You exist in that field of people who
absolutely.
are like, man, I like him, but like, glad I'm not married to him.
That's not. I mean, look, I don't want to.
There are
throw
certain characters who are like
shades.
that.
I don't want to throw shade at Dan Harmon. I wouldn't want to be married to fucking Justin Roiland because he do the voices all the time.
Because he's a fucking man baby.
He's a maniac. But also like
that's a better example actually.
Yeah,
Justin Roiland. You're a weird guy, but
it's like you're talented, but I don't think anyone is like, not like Tom Cruise. You're like, I would like to be Tom Cruise because he looks like a bad example. Yeah, who's a good boy?
Yeah, we are digging a hole.
We picked some really bad people. Who's a good person that you would want to be who's like talented?
Who you would want to be that was like talented?
Yeah, or be in a similar position.
Fuck, I can't think of anyone.
Maybe like a Edgar Wright. You'd want to be.
Yeah,
like a Jamie Foxx or someone like
that. I guess what it is, it's fame without recognition.
Mm-hmm.
Is what Dan Harmon and like Jerry Springer and Edgar
Wright.
Wright.
Recognition without fame. Rather than fame without recognition. What else?
Yeah,
now
it's one of those. It's one without the other.
It's definitely one of them.
It's one of them without the other
in
one.
In post, I'll edit in so it's the right one.
It's not like some Hollywood actor, which is both.
Yeah, where it's like,
you're famous and you're recognized. It's just one or the other.
Yeah, and he's much more he's recognized for his work. He's not necessarily famous, and that's kind of where you want to be. And he talks a little bit. He's talked before about the whole point of Rick and Morty is like you have this unrelenting, and we kind of touched on this a bit in our previous Rick and Morty episode.
I mean, I think it's been done to death, which is why I don't think we're going to touch on it.
Which is like we're not going to go too much into it, but
because all you have to do is just Google the meaning of Rick and Morty. You'll get like 60 fucking videos.
But and it's like there's a lot of video essays on it. But I think it's important to baseline that the whole point of the show is that you have this character who can do anything he wants, and it's all about how does that form meaning within a show. But I think what's interesting to me about the show is it doesn't try too hard to do that. Like, like a lot of shows that you'll see. So there was one, what have I been watching recently? I've been rewatching Mad Men, which is perfect. But also, what's it called? Shit, it's based on a film. Oh boy, this is really not good radio.
House of Cards.
Not House of Cards. No, it's not based on a film.
Game of Thrones.
No, Friday Night Lights, which is also almost perfect. But the first season of that, they do this thing toward the end where they suddenly realize that they're about to get to the end of the season. They're like, we have to make it meaningful. And you can feel them. Oh, right. You can feel them trying to
feel the point.
Yeah. And they, it's better in the later seasons. Also, you should watch that show. But like, if you can feel it, whereas Rick and Morty, it's always like, it's a funny gag at the end of an episode that is horrifically sad that that ties it together, or it's like an offhanded remark from one character about something Rick's done. Like, it never feels like they sit you down and go, okay, guys, here's the meaning.
There's no special episodes because every episode's a special episode.
There is a special episode.
Yep.
Except for the last one of season 2. That's kind of a special episode.
What, the most recent one?
No, season 2.
Last episode of season 2.
Yeah, where
that's absolutely a special
Rick goes
episode.
to space jail.
Yeah.
And it's funny too because and maybe this is just speaking to the series as a whole, but because they have those insular episodes that parody things that already exist. So you have like the Jurassic Park one, which is great, where they're inside that homeless guy. You've got the Mad Max one from this season, and then all of the iterations of everything else in between.
You've got like the Purge episode.
The Purge one's so good.
You've got all these like things where because they're able to do it because they have their multiverse thing going on.
Yeah,
they're able to just kind of throw characters around and you
just see what happens.
Yeah, and kind of just like use them as like analogies or use them as like just like a stepping stone for a certain like way of thinking,
or even just to like explore a concept. Like, you know, one of the funnest things I think about the show is that even if it's not trying to be meaningful, they can just like have fun with their thing. Like the Jurassic Park episode doesn't really have like a deep underlying meaning. It's just like, what if Rick did Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
And that's a fun thing. Like, it's like, okay, it's bacteria, it's crazy. What if it was small? And then, you know, like with some of the other concepts, I think they don't try and be as highbrow as they could. Like, you know, the end of season 1, they have a party, and that's the plot of the episode. They have a party. That's the whole episode.
What was the end of season 1 again?
And the season 1 is they have a party, and
Imagine that.
And well, I was clearly mid-sentence. You rude boy. And they have this party, and then they make a total mess of the house. And the stipulation was if anything's out of place, then they can't go on adventures.
So he pauses time.
So he freezes time.
But they spend like 6 months in frozen
like
time. They just hang out.
Yeah, it's a cool, fun.
It's like a weird thing where where you realize that Rick actually cares.
Well, it's funny. He cares, but not for the reason that you think he should. He's not like, oh, my grandkids, how good. He's like, if I didn't care, then what would be the point of being alive?
He's like, oh, my grandkids, the only human beings I can
tolerate.
stand.
Yeah, which is something I can relate to on a deep spiritual level. But
what, you enjoying your grandkids?
Yeah, me and my grandkids.
Those grandkids.
We're banging about. We're having a good time. We're freezing time. Hey, so that episode is based off the film Time Stoppers.
Haven't seen it.
Or is it Clock Stoppers? Fuck, it's a wild 2002 ride.
Oh, it's one of those films.
It's like a stop. Yeah, it was one of those things.
You'd watch it on like daytime TV.
Oh boy, and it's got a stopwatch in it that freezes time.
Oh no.
But then the villains want it, and yeah, it's just a really wild mess. But I think it's kind of fun that they've given themselves the latitude, and obviously Adventure Time, you know, a lot of shows do this, but, you know, the latitude to be like, how would we have done this concept differently in a fun way?
I think this is different to Adventure Time, because Adventure Time, it kind of gets lost in its own world a bit too much
there are some rabbit holes where like 5 episodes in a row will be set before the war. Like, it's some crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, it's fine, because it's like, oh, cool, lore, but it's like, it becomes a bit of a... You kind of stop caring after a while.
Yeah, well, they ask a lot of what's the word? Like they ask you to do a lot of investing, whereas like Rick and Morty, you can be pretty light on invested in the characters and just think it's fun.
Yeah, you don't have to follow the threads that they leave out for you. Like they point the threads in the face and go, look at this.
They also yell out loud. They're like, look, that happened. Remember that? And you're like, okay, cool.
You're like, cool, I remember that.
Yeah. Or like the start of season 3, if you'd never watched Rick and Morty before, would make total sense.
Yeah, there's like really obtuse moments where like I think the funniest thing is when you realize that what wubba lubba dub dub means. Because it's such a weird offhand joke, and it's not like they hid that. They just straight up came out and said, wubba dubba dub, fucking whatever it is, means, like, I am in pain, please help me. Yeah. You're like, what?
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck?
You're like, why? Yeah, like, also, yeah, of course.
Yeah, but
like,
also
why?
And that's such a, like, that isn't something that most shows get you. Like, that emotion that Rick and Morty...
Yeah, other shows wouldn't have, A, it be his catchphrase, B, it wouldn't be such a silly thing as wubba lubba dub dub.
And, you know, that to me speaks, like, volumes of, like, how Dan Harmon does his comedy, right? Like, you know, you look at Harmon Quest, which if you haven't seen it, that is
it's
so good.
Fantastic. Yeah.
The premise, like the hot Cliff Note premise, is like it's him and a bunch of famous people playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Pathfinder,
sorry.
Pathfinder.
It's definitely not Dungeons and Dragons.
Triggers me so hard when you say it's D&D. You do it every time.
It's the same bullshit fantasy
Pathfinder.
Game. It's the same shut the fuck up, you nerd.
Pathfinder.
It doesn't matter. They play a tabletop role-playing game together.
Thank you.
And they go on imaginations, and half of it is animated, and half of it is... you know, a stage
and they pulled the greasiest DM they could find.
And it is, yeah.
He's so funny.
Spencer Crittenden is he's the world's most typical, like, person you would think plays D&D.
But he's also very talented as like a voice actor.
Yeah, I mean, he's in other stuff and everything. Yeah. But, you know, the thrust of that show and the reason it's funny is that it's about finding the esoteric moments within normal stuff that makes it funny. And you look at Community and it's the same thing. It's like, how do you do all of that but also give it, like, a bit of that... You know, the thrust behind it about family and, like, you know, all of his stuff is ultimately about family, I think. You know, you look at Community, it's like these people come together to form this family, and then you look at, you know, your Rick and Morty, and it's like, should family matter? Is like the question that asks a lot.
Yeah.
And then Dan Harmon isn't like, family's the only thing that matters at all. He's like, it kind of has to, because what other choice do you have?
Yeah, he's like, family is important because nothing else is.
Yeah, which is such an interesting... I don't know. I feel like most writers want to be really edgy about it. To be like, nothing matters.
Nothing matters.
I'm Shadow the Hedgehog.
My main character is a nihilistic magic user who uses the force of darkness to control his... It's like, fuck
Rick and Morty's like, nah.
He's an alcoholic.
It's like, he drinks a lot and he still kind of loves his family a little bit, you know? And then you got Jerry, who is your everyman in that scenario where it's like, what if you did have that family and you had an everyman? How would, like, contextually, how would that look? And it looks like Jerry. And you want to hit him all the time.
I think it's really... I think one thing that's really funny, and I do it with a lot of shows, but, like, it's kind of stuck with Rick and Morty, is going back to either, like, first episode or pilot episodes with these kinds of shows that have, like, transformed. So, like... Adventure Time has transformed. Like, it's fucking weird now. I haven't been following it. There's like a spin-off series.
It's gone into like a real hardcore anime direction.
Yeah, with like a spin-off with all lore. It's lost me. You know, like BoJack kind of transformed, although they kind of nailed it from the start.
They seems like they knew where they were going.
They knew where they're going. But like, especially Rick and Morty, if you go back to the first episode or like the pilot, which are the same actually, they're pretty much identical. You get such a weird glimpse of the show, but it's not like the transformations that they've done are still like present in the first show. Like just this the pilot, like if you remember it, it's where he's just like, we got to drop a bomb in it, we got to reset it all, and you're like,
Ben, I've watched this series like 8 times,
but it's like it's such like an obvious like nihilistic view, and it's like it hasn't changed. It's more nuanced, I guess.
Well, yeah, because what you've got is the progressive stacking of the nuance of that.
Yeah, because even in the first episode, he's still like, you know, we got Morty, we got to get you that girl that you like from math. He's like, what are you talking about? It's just like, you got to get that girl because I'm your grandpa, and it's like
what is gonna happen.
Yeah, and we're gonna clean slate, and you got to repopulate the earth.
Fuck it, honestly, and you know, and the fact that they bring back, this is what like I'm always impressed by, is they go, okay, that happened in the first episode. That comes back a few times, the fact that they buried themselves. That comes up like 3 or 4 times like throughout the series.
Sort of, the first season. Yeah.
It's such an interesting, and then, you know, you've got in season 3 at the start, they go back to the world that they left behind at the start of season 1.
Yeah. And you have like I think one of the best lines in season 3 is when Morty is just like, nothing matters, everyone dies, just come down and watch TV.
Watch TV.
Yeah.
And that, to me, like, that's why, you know, people are like, oh, well, why would you do the, you know, XYZ when you could be doing all these other things that'll, like, advance your career, or, like, you know, you could work another hour. It's like, yeah, but it's gonna be over soon,
matters. So everyone dies.
I'm gonna have a beer.
We're gonna get fucking cooked by global warming. Yeah, our generation is gonna die
rather
from
than
hunger.
later. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all fucked.
Well, might as well enjoy it while you got it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, like, that to me is such a... Like, that's such an important message, because I think sometimes it's, particularly with the way that TV is going and the way that culture is going, there's like this fetishization of being busy. I almost said fetishization. of like busyness. Like, you should be busy all the time, and it's good to be like overtired and stressed all the time.
Addicted to stress.
And it's like, maybe it's fine to just have a night off and kick around, have a pizza with your friends and get some beers. Like, that's fine. Like, maybe we should think more about what it is that we value and why we value it, not just, you know, keep plodding along and being like, time to go to work again.
Yeah, like, you have those moments where you're up at night and you're like, why? Just what is the meaning of it all?
And it's like, the cool thing is, you know, there isn't one. The meaning is like...
You can just describe whatever you want.
Yeah, the meaning is that you're alive right now. That's it. All you have is like the moment you're in. I think this show in particular does a good job of making fun of both sides of that argument. People that think it's, you know, people think it, people that don't think it, everything in between.
Because it makes fun of pure nihilism through this weird lens of saying, you know, if nothing matters, then having a space council run by multiple versions of yourself is a completely normal thing. Because, hey, nothing matters. And
then, you know, you go the layer up of that, and it's like, you know, there's so many multiverses, so nothing matters. And you go the layer up, and it's like someone spent thousands of hours developing this cartoon for adults about this. Nothing matters. You go a layer above that, it's like, what the fuck is the point of TV? Like, the whole thing, it just kind of vertically slices down to the point where you're like, this show just makes a good point of the point that it's trying to make.
Yeah.
And the point is maybe just have fun and watch a dumb show.
Maybe just
have a goof and enjoy
maybe
Rick and
just
Morty.
sit down and watch some TV.
I think it's funny when they do a fart joke or the interdimensional cable TV episode that we're surely getting this season. I can't wait for.
Absolutely. I'm so excited.
And like maybe just fucking chill out for 8 seconds and go,
Just grab a beer, run a dumb online podcast.
Start an imaginary radio company and then don't stop for 2.5 years. And then be like, crap, now we
have a what used to be ironic but is now turned a bit
part of
post-ironic man cave pillow,
which I keep
you
saying
didn't have any other prop.
Which I keep saying we'll replace, but the merchandise
honestly,
hasn't
at this
arrived.
stage-
It also nothing's arrived yet, so I'm still wearing the old DCM Works shirt, and we still got the old pillow. So it's like
it's a bit unfortunate, but we're
you
getting
know,
there.
people have suffered through worse, Ben. No. I just. To me, this show is one that when people say things like, "Oh, well, it's not funny. It doesn't do this, doesn't do that." That's like, dude, that's cool. Like Kiwasabe, bro. It's just it is what it is.
Kill what?
Kiwasabe. It means like chill the fuck out.
In what language?
Fuck, I want to say Hawaiian, but that feels racist.
Hawaiian.
It's definitely a real thing.
Language of the rock.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of deep diving of. I've been doing a lot of podcasts this week because I haven't really spent much time around other humans. Unless I've been recording.
Digital humans.
Well, I've been
like our audience right now. Welcome, digital people.
I've been recording all week, pretty much every night. So every time that I stop doing that, I need to not talk to other people. So I've been thrown in a podcast or a music. And the podcast is kind of, my brain is becoming internet-centric and I don't like it. So Kiwasabe is something that I'm bringing back. But yeah, it's like, you know, people that have that argument, they go, oh, well, Rick and Morty's not funny. It lacks the nuance that would be required for this to be meaningful. They're missing the point of the show.
What even has the nuance? Like, give us an example. Like, so many people.
I guess BoJack does.
Fuck off. No, it's like.
What is that? Hang on. No, what do you mean?
No.
What did you mean by nuance?
I have this. This is really like I say fuck off in the sense that it's like, yeah, okay, like sure, whatever. But at the same time, it's like ascribing like a level of like, oh, this is more nuanced. Than this.
Buddy. Yeah, it's fucking
like
bullshit.
that kind of thing is like it's. Like, don't get me wrong, I love BoJack. I'm a BoJack boy, but like,
put that on the fucking t-shirt.
but it's so annoying when people ascribe levels of like sophistication to something where it's just like this is real art. Like no true aficionado would think Rick and Morty is good.
Okay, we got 8 minutes left, and can we go in on this? Because I'm
sure.
Go
ahead.
You got me mad.
I think I got you.
Okay, people that don't like Fast and Furious are fucking idiots. Okay. The Fast and Furious films know exactly what they are.
Is there a difference between not liking it and people who like attack it? Because I'm not a fan of the film.
I don't love them. I think they're whatever. But people that go, oh, they're like people that ascribe the merit of that film based on what it is,
right?
Fucking morons.
Yeah.
You can't say inherently, well, Fast and Furious is bad because it lacks meaning. It doesn't have any nuance. It's like, dude, that's what they're there for. They're there for like a summer blockbuster. You go in, you see a bunch of bald, muscly men, because it's the only people in those fucking movies. Yep. Bald, muscly men, very attractive women, driving very fast vehicles.
Very expensive fast vehicles.
And it's a very fun, good time. And then the same thing when people are like, you know, I don't want to get too much into like the culture death that's caused by like reality TV, but same thing when people go, oh, well, the thing that you like doesn't have value because it's not sophisticated enough. And it's like, dude, maybe I just want to fucking watch
I just want to watch The Bachelorette.
Yeah, man.
Maybe I just want to
do it. And maybe I want to see Rick shoot a bunch of other Ricks with a fucking laser rifle. And that's fine.
It's a good time.
Don't sit there and be like, well, actually, it lacks the nuance for it to be real art, so I'm not gonna validate its existence.
Yeah,
it's fine to be like, you know what, I want to make a funny cartoon where a boy shoots another boy.
Even like shit like the Emoji Movie, which like we have to see.
Yeah, we will, but that'll just be us in the cinema,
Australia,
probably.
I don't think.
I don't feel like even on opening night it'll be busy.
No, it'll be good. I think the first time we'll go opening night it won't be busy.
They didn't. Hang on, who's
Sony?
They didn't send us.
So we're not
tickets.
Sony
don't like us. It's cool.
But it's like even that has merit. Sure, it's not high art. Nothing is high art.
Listen. Yeah, we've already lost culture, so at this point, have a good time.
Yeah, like just go in. Yeah, just fucking vomit your brain out.
Yeah.
But like there is merit to films that are trash. There's merit to films that are like exquisite and amazing. A la fucking BoJack.
But then there's not everything has to be that.
That middle point. People ascribe that middle point to being like not like bad or useless, but like not enough. Like it's not good enough to be good. It's not bad enough to be like riled against.
It's funny you mention that, and you'll laugh, but that's kind of where most of our content sits, right? So we're not trying to reinvent the fucking wheel of this podcast, right?
No, absolutely not.
Like,
we're way behind the times.
well, I wouldn't say that. Let's not throw too much shade right in my face hole. But like, you know, like we're not trying to reinvent the fucking wheel of podcasting. Like we're not 99% invisible. We're not Reply All. Like we're not doing stuff that can't be done in a normal setting. What we were like, we'll just make a podcast that we would want to listen to.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
We'll
and,
just fill the gap.
Some of our, video stuff isn't amazingly creative, but it's fun enough that I'm like, you know what, if I watch that, hi, video listeners, like some of our gameplay stuff, it's like, if I watch it, it's a fun time. And sometimes does I can't stress this enough about projects in general, because every fucking time I'm so mad. Every time I say this,
You're going off, yeah.
every time I say this, people give me this filthy, caustic look, right?
Right.
Okay, so
I'm gonna prep my look.
yeah, get ready.
Right.
So hit me with it. Give me like a test look.
I don't know what you're about to say.
Okay, cool.
I need some primer.
So when you make a thing,
Okay.
you have to make it for someone.
Sure.
Otherwise, why are you making it?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Don't get me wrong. What shits me to fucking goddamn gosh down tears is when people say, well, you didn't make it for me, so it's not good. What are you... So, we've been doing these live streams every week. It's a really good time. We had one this week that was, boy, howdy, it was funnier because Ben wasn't there. And...
I'll be here next week. Don't you worry about that.
I'm excited.
To shit the stream up again.
Boy howdy. And, it's funny. So we stream from James's perspective, which is great because he's the best player.
Yeah, and we're just the chickens, the headless chickens.
And so it's great. And, and this week's episode of Polygon streaming the very same game was Russ playing, and he's not a very good PUBG player, and he was streaming his perspective. And everyone in the comments, 99% of people, which I love, were like, I love Russ to death, but boy, someone else needs to stream. Like Griffin, who's getting like 9 kills a match, should be the one streaming. But it's Russ who's like trying to pick up a pistol and it takes him 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's a really like educated discourse that's happening. What fucking shits me to tears is I got a tweet this week, and I can't bring it up because I got a lot of tweets this week because I did a lot of tweeting. I did a joke about the Emoji Movie. I can't think of what the joke was. It wasn't very funny. And someone was like, you shouldn't encourage that. It's just, it's like you're making culture worse. And then the next tweet that I saw was from someone being like, people that think Rick and Morty
is just like a goth session right now.
Well, no, I just want to end this with culture.
Sure.
Because I feel like this is an important thing that Rick and Morty addresses. And this, the next tweet did tie into that, where that was the first tweet I saw where someone was like, people that think Rick and Morty is funny are dumb. Like that was the subtext stuff.
Good one. All right, cool.
And I was like, cool, funny. Thanks. Like, nice generalization, and also, like, it's fine. Like, it's fine. It's fine that people enjoy things, and it's fine that people enjoy what you like, and you don't have to berate them for enjoying the thing you like, and you don't have to hate them for not liking it. Just, like, everyone shut the fuck up for a while. I don't know where this... I'm so tired.
Yeah, I don't know where this is going in.
So tired. Okay, I can bring this back. So, let me fucking... finish strong on Rick and Morty.
Yeah, let's come around.
It's a TV show about a guy who breaks the ability to travel through both time and space.
Sure.
Can you travel through time?
Yes.
Yeah, of course you can.
Yes.
So you can travel through time and space. And it's a show that goes, okay, this premise that we've seen before, you're Doctor Who, you're the one with the fuzzy hair and the Einstein and the jackets in the 90s, fucking...
Back to the Future?
Yeah, with the guy who
Emmett
shakes
Brown?
a lot.
The guy who shakes a lot.
Yeah, he's got Parkinson's, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Actually, he was really good in The Good Wife. But so like, that concept of like what happens if you give someone this power that like, this is what the Ubermensch would have. Like he's a perfect kind of god character. But you go, what would that actually look like? You would have a substance addiction. You would be, probably kind of a little bit unhinged. And then also adding on top of that, the multiverse thing. What you end up
also
with,
there would be a council of you because
who else?
You figured it out. So they would all have figured it out.
And then I think...
Except for the ones that didn't, but...
Yeah, but that's like always going to happen. It's a bell curve. But then I think the thing that season 3 does especially well is it opens with a fake backstory about how Rick discovered his ability to do that. So how did Rick... It gives you a fake backstory of how Rick transitioned from normal guy to uncaring god
Which is
character.
such a, like, trope, almost.
Yeah, what you want as a normal person watching a thing, like what you want as a normal writer who likes cliches is for Rick to be this character because some great tragedy was inflicted upon him.
Yeah, as the viewer, you want to know, you want to hear why he's like this.
In reality, he probably just did some fucking math.
Yeah, he's just smart.
But the cool thing is we don't need to know why. because backstory is boring. No one gives a shit. No one is like, hey,
Oh, a lot of people care so much.
yeah, but those people don't. Okay, yeah, no, sorry. Let me rephrase. You should care about the backstory, but telling someone
not necessary.
telling someone the whole backstory of the character makes them really unexciting.
Right.
No one is like. No one is sitting there going, Firefly's great because I understand how Malcolm Reynolds went from a soldier to this uncaring captain and then how he went back again. No one wants... They care because what you see.
Yeah.
And that does a really good job, that season in particular, of going, here's what you think you want. You're wrong.
And also, Firefly got cancelled, so we'll never find out.
We'll never know. We never should know. The comics are pretty good, though. They're actually not great. But no, like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to know the whole minutia, nitty-gritty of someone's entire life, because then they're just a normal fucking person.
Yeah.
And how boring are they? So it's like, give us some mystery. Give us a bit of like, this character is the actions that they undertake, not this vast, elaborate narrative.
A little bit of herbs, a little spices, a little salt.
Give us a little bit of garlic.
Yeah.
Maybe some basil.
Yeah.
I'm making a spag bowl in my head. Maybe a little bit of tomato paste. Maybe some thyme.
Some
hey,
spaghetti.
Pro tip for those of you at home: if you're making a spag bowl, add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce and
Who has that sauce? I can't pronounce it. That
Worcestershire?
sauce.
I'm English. I have it.
I was gonna say.
I got that shit on deck.
I think we have a bottle that's about 5 years old.
it's some good.
Would that still be good? 5 years old? It's been in the fridge.
Probably fine. Yeah.
Cool.
Honestly, like a little.
It's just like Vegemite sauce, isn't it?
It's sort of a beefy tasting sauce. It adds like a meaty flavor. It's really good in spag bowl. Yeah, that a bit of beef stock. This has been cooking tips. I'm so tired. So listen, that's gonna do it for this episode. Because if it goes
We've
any
talked
longer,
briefly about
Rick and Morty was
Rick
in
and Morty.
there. Okay, I tried to bring it back. I couldn't do it.
We're excited for the end of season 3. Get ready for another episode when that
I
ends.
did a spag bowl recipe on the show. I am
all right.
so tired.
Totally uphill from here.
End of this episode is happening right now. Ben, where can people find us?
Facebook,
DCMworks Social.
YouTube.
YouTube.com/ Oh, actually, on the youtube.com/DCMworks. James, ex-advisory, new DCMworks boy.
He's a good boy.
He's helping us make some videos. He's very funny.
He's funnier than me.
He's funnier than both of us combined.
Yep.
No, not combined.
So expect to see him replacing me anytime soon.
Hopefully soon.
Yep.
We haven't talked contracts, we haven't talked pay, but I'm hoping to bump Ben down and then bump James up.
That's the plan.
So some YouTube videos to check him out, and very funny, good fun times.
Yep.
What was the other one that you said? Twitter? DCM_works. I've started doing this thing that I'm in love with, where every day I tweet out new game and new show ideas, and I've never been happy with a life decision. So if you follow us on Twitter, DCM_works, you will see once a day a new game or show idea that is basically just a pun on the title of an existing thing.
Oh, that's good.
And it's really spicy.
That's
so
good. You should do Pug B.
While you keep going, I'm gonna bring up a few
Pug
examples
Battlegrounds.
just so you know, because I feel like you don't follow us on Twitter. So
I'd follow us on Twitter.
are
it's
you
fine.
fucking honey?
I'm gonna do the next one.
Are you a
Patreon.
Yeah. Do you want to give them a quick like
Patreon.com/DCMworks.
Do you want to tell them the thing that's coming out next week that we've been working on? Spoopy.
Oh, OTS?
Yeah. Give
New
people a preview.
OTS for patrons.
Yeah,
we're reading through a spoopy novel.
Yeah. So we have a Patreon only show that was
I'm
really,
reading through the spoopy
That was
novel.
a horrific promo. We have a Patreon only show. That's where we tell each other spooky stories.
I don't get paid enough to do good promos, David.
Goof around. That's true. We goof around and we do like fun little.
Yeah,
spooky
and we're
stories.
open to suggestions.
Get it? It's the name of the fucking show.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one. Okay, a few of them.
For more,
Sorry, a few of them in a row were literally me complaining that Daisy isn't a thing.
Throw out these words.
I just gotta scroll down because I'm gonna get through all the.
You're getting through.
Okay, so new show idea, like like a Gogglebox, which is the TV show where you watch people watch TV.
Sure.
Like a Gogglebox, except you're forced to watch people watch other people's Minecraft Let's Plays. And the title is Goggle Cube.
Goggle Cube. Sounds like hell.
Here we go. Yeah, it sounds awful. New game idea. Job sim, where you play as Peter Parker, the interior designer. Title, Spider-Man Homecrafting. New game idea. RPG office sim. You are the boss. Points scored on how unhappy you can make employees without them quitting.
Dude, that's a really good idea.
Title, fucking wait for it, CE, oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
This is the last one I'll give you, and then we're going to end the episode.
All right.
New game idea. Papers, please, but you have to work for Kanye as his manager and have to pitch leasing the rights for the Power Rangers trailer. The title is Powers, Please. Because it's Papers, Please.
That's really dumb.
Not my best.
No, it's
But-
not the best.
Just fucking hang out for a bunch of those every day.
Yeah, I guess.
When I get bored, I tweet one of those hot, spicy.
awesome.
little
Well,
serves out.
thanks for that, David. We'll see you next week We'll see you next
not
week.
how we
same
end the
time.
show.
I don't know how we end this.
I'm at DCO Pie.
I'm at Literal Citrus.
And we'll see you guys next week. Also, sorry that this was a mess. It was probably a song that reminded me of it, or I'd done an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice.
Writing is definitely an isolating thing.
From an outside perspective, that's weird as
It makes
fuck.
us look really mental.
But that is because of what it kind of said about art.
I had fun in bits. There were fun bits.
We went and bought a value pack of straps.
Oh my god, we did. There is a big lesson here to learn about storytelling.